me working in a company, it's relatively small. It's a 120 people company, and just having that close community, I guess, interacting with people daily, so it kind of forces you to talk about more than just work, and then wanting to kind of know who you are on a personal basis. And then like looking at the number of 120 people there, and like 8 people that are black or of color that can actually identify with you. A lot of the things that you would talk about in your personal life, people might not be able to relate to that. So I think that just like your perspective on some things kind of silence you sometimes. You don't want to be labeled that angry black person.
And I guess over the, I would say past 6-7 years, I've really challenged myself to sort of wean myself off of that restaurant money, which has been a very good income. I think I had refined my skills enough to know better than to cast my pearls amongst swine. If people want to hire me to for my expertise on a $25 million restaurant opening, but want to diminish, my blackness in that experience, because in most of these spaces you have to be better than everybody just to be in the building. So, and you might have to be better than 5 people at the same time. Just to be considered normal. Or like creating sort of a super Negro. Yes, magical Negro in Rome, and here
In 2016, I was required by my employer to work in Wisconsin, and I was there for approximately a month and a half. One particular work day, I was working for maybe 10 hours in the office, and I had a number of phone calls to make, over 50 phone calls, so I decided to go to the nearby park and make phone calls there. For 30 minutes of making phone calls and enjoying the scenery in Kenosha, Wisconsin, there's very, very few blacks. I don't know the percentage, but I may have only seen 2 or 3 black families. There's white families on the beach, folks in the ocean on their kayaks and jet skis, but I'm doing my job. When I got done making my phone calls, an hour and a half later, I got in the car, and as I began to leave the park, all of a sudden, I got stopped by the police inside the park doing no more than 10 miles an hour. I was puzzled. And so when the police officer stopped me, the first thing I did, panicking as a black man, I was concerned about my safety, actually. I had to pull out my license and put both hands on the wheel with my license in my hand, right? Keeping in mind that both my wife and daughter didn't want me to take this assignment, knowing that the ratio of black is low. So I got stopped by the police, and the police officer asked me what was I doing. I explained to him and pointed to the clipboard of the list of calls that I was making, what my job was, a series of questions. When I asked this officer why I got stopped, he said that someone called in and said I look suspicious. Nothing more than I look suspicious. And he asked a number of questions, and at the end of it, he still told me it's unfortunate, but he has to follow up, and I understand he had a job to do. But I felt the police called on me solely because I was black and I was working.